Nahi prapashyami mamamrudyada yacchokamujjoshanamindriyanam avapya bhuma vasapatnamridam rajyam suranam api chadipatyam. Who will read? Do you have your book? I thought as much. Sonali, read.
For even on obtaining undisputed sovereignty and an affluent kingdom on this earth and lordship over the gods, I do not see any means that can drive away the grief which is drying up my senses.
Even after surrendering, the alap is continuing. Even after saying all that, he is still coming back that buddhi is still in the throes of confusion. Na hi prapasyami mamapnudyada. Na, not. He, certainly. Prapashyami, I see. Means I certainly do not see. Mama, my. Shokam, sorrow. Apanyudhyada, driver, being driven away. I don't see my sorrow being driven away. Uchoshanam is drying up. What is drying up? Indriyanam, my senses are drying up. Avapya means after achieving. Bhumo, of the earth, worldly. Asapatnam, unrivaled. Riddham, prosperity. Rajyam, kingdom. Suranam, like the celestial god. So even after achieving prosperity of the world and unrivaled prosperity of the heavens, api, even Adipatyam, sovereignty, even after getting all this kingdom and wealth and worldly and otherworldly and heavenly, my sorrow will not go away. So this is an intense sorrow that Arjuna is feeling. It's not just normal depression, not some normal sadness. It's an extreme restlessness, an extreme confusion. And most of the times, I cannot say most of the times, but I believe most of the times, just before you get your moment of realization, you will go through the most intense sorrow, the most intense depression, your most intense darkness. Just like before sunrise, you have the darkest of the night. So the darkest night is just before sunrise. So the darkest moment of your life can have the potential of leading you to light, or it can lead you into your patan. You can either succumb to it or you can rise out of it. So do not be afraid when you have such deep frustration and deep sorrow, because it's part of the process. Gautam Buddha also went through the same thing. He had to go through that deep sorrow before he got his enlightenment. And he declared, I have it written down, Sarvam Dukkham Dukkham, Sarvam Kshanikam Kshanikam. Everything is sorrow, everything is temporary. And the thing to remember is, this too shall pass. This too shall pass. That should be your chorus. That should be your refrain in life. This too shall pass. This too shall pass. Because everything that is happening is temporary. After sukh, dukh will come. And after dukh, sukh will come. It's only after mukti that you have risen above sukh and dukh. Sarvam dukham dukham, sarvam kshanikam kshanikam. And this realization that sarvam dukham dukham, whatever you are experiencing in the world has a dukh attached to it. Right now, sansar may be giving you sukh. That is what? The repayment of your past punya. If you are experiencing sukh now, it is repayment of your past good deeds, good karma. And if you are experiencing dukh now, it is the finishing of your past papa. What you want? Sukh or dukh?
Dukh.
Sukh means your...
It brings you closer to God.
If you are experiencing sukh now, your punya is getting over. If you are experiencing dukh now, your pap is getting over. Or just what you want. Yes. So no Reebok shoes, huh? Understood? If you are experiencing sukh now, be sure dukh will come. If you are experiencing dukh now, be sure sukh will come. But until and unless you realize that in this sansar, both will follow each other. And if you think only sukh is going to come, then you are living in an illusion. If you still expect sansar to give you sukh or anand, it is never going to happen. Because it will come for kshanikam, kshanikam. Little bit time it will come, then it will go. Until and unless you learn to rise above both of them. And you will never rise above both of them till you expect sansar to give you anand. Sansar cannot give you anand. Sansar can only give you sukh. Then there is a difference between sukh and anand. If you expect sansar to give you, if you still believe sansar is the source of anand, you will be disappointed.
But Ma, if this while experiencing dukh, we anticipate sukh that is coming. Okay, fine. We are just experiencing dukh and then hoping that a better time is coming. But when that better time comes, then we again know that this is going to get over and we are again going to go into that. So we are never really experiencing sukh then.
Correct. That is why the sukh is also illusory. Because let us say, when you are having dukh, means my parents are not letting me go out. Let's say. Then, when they do let you go out, you are still thinking, next time will they let me go or not? And what time do I have to come back? Even in that sukh, there are some dukhs involved. So the fact is, sukh can never make you completely happy. It's an illusion that you are happy at that time. It's a very temporary happiness. For a few minutes you'll feel good. Yay, I can go out. Or yay, I got this. Or wow, I got that. Or at last I got this. At last I got that. But only it will last for a little while. And in that sukh itself, there are dukhs involved. You are completely right. So sukh cannot make you happy. So what to do? Don't think when I am dukhi, oh good, sukh will come. Don't think like that. In dukh, accept the dukh. In sukh, accept the sukh. When will the sukh come? Now I am still dukhi. When will that sukh come? I am just waiting for that sukh to come. Then that is not the way to go about it. Okay, and when you are having the sukh, accept that also. And don't make it the central part of your existence. Enjoy the sukh and say, I know that at some stage this is also going to go. This is not what I need to look forward to. There is something higher than this sukh also. There is something that is much better than this little sukh. See, when a bhikari doesn't have anything and you give him 10 rupiah and he goes and gets one cutting chai, he feels so happy. But surely there are other things better than cutting chai that he can get. But he's happy up to there. And after 10 rupees finishes, then he goes back to being a bhikari only. We are all bhikaris only. We are begging for some little 10 rupiah. We get some cutting chai. We get very happy. Then we go back to begging to God. Now give me this. Now give me that. We are bhikaris.
Give me 100.
Now give me 100. After 100 comes, we'll want 1000. After 1000 comes, we want 10. We are bhikaris. That's all. We go to the temple to beg. We get little bit, we are happy. After some time, we come back to beg. And sometimes God gives us, we say, इतना ही दिया. उसको ज़्यादा दिया. मेरे को इतना ही दिया. Till we see other person has more, we are happy. But the minute we see that other person has got more, our little becomes too less. We have to transcend all this. We have to understand what is that after which no dukh comes. What do you want? Little bit sukh or forever happiness? Everyone wants that.
Contentment.
Contentment. Complete. You're not worried about dukh आएगा, नहीं आएगा, कब आएगा, सुख आएगा, क्या आएगा, क्या nonsense. Just get out of it. Don't expect anything from sansar. It has no capacity. It's one bhikari asking another bhikari for money. You are expecting another person to make you happy. Does he know? Does he have happiness himself? How do we expect our spouse or our colleague or our parent or our children to make us happy? It is as good as one bhikari asking the other bhikari for money. Uske paas hai happiness to give you? No. Don't expect. Accept. So what allowed Arjun to reach that state where he stopped expecting anything from sansar? And that is why I love these two verses, because it's giving you the method right here. How not to expect sansar to give you that eternal happiness. He said what? That Bhagwan said, neither your condition is going to make you happy in the present, nor will it make your past happy, nor will it make your future happy. And that is exactly what Arjun has to do. What did he say? Let us read that English again. For even on obtaining undisputed sovereignty and an affluent kingdom on this earth, means I have got everything that sansar can give me. Everything I have. Lordship even over the gods, even heavenly, everything I have got. I do not see any means that can drive away the grief. Even after getting everything on the earth and everything in the heaven, my unhappiness will not go away. He has realized that in sansar, I cannot get it. Sansar is not the source of my happiness. So what should you do? This is your sadhana for the fortnight. Sit down quietly and think, what all can I get after 5 years? What all can I get after 20 years? What all can I have after 50 years also? And after all that having, where will I be? What will I be? Because there is a difference between having and being. Even if you have 10 luxury cars in your garage, even if you have a villa in every coastal tourist spot in the world, even if you have an entire wardrobe of all the luxurious clothes, bags, shoes, whatever, I don't know what all you all want, even after having all those things, will I be content? Or will I always want more? Will I be? The important thing is, how will you be? Will I still be at peace? Will I be still? Will I be silent? Will I be at peace after having all this? Guaranteed you will not. Because the more you get, the more you want. The more you'll fulfill your greed, the more greed you will get.
More stress
And the
about
fear of
parking.
losing it.
And the fear of losing. And the jealousy of somebody else always having more.
Or stress of parking.
Stress of parking, stress of robbery, stress of insurance claim, stress of this, stress of that. The more you have, the higher the headache. The more security, the more this, the more that. One has to realize that. Till you keep thinking Sansar is giving me something, you can be sure after he gives, he will also take your peace of mind. The more you have, the more bigger the headache.
For you.
In Brihad Aranyaka Upanishad, there's one Rishi, and I used to send you the quotes from that, Yagnavalkya. So one day he decided to renounce life and go away to do tapasya. So he had 2 wives. So he said, I give all my wealth, my property, everything, I give it to the wives. So one of the wives was also quite clever in the spiritual way, Maitri. So she went to Yagnavalkya and she said, with all this wealth which you're giving me, will I get mukti? So he said, no, you will not get mukti, you will not get anand. With all this wealth, you will get sukh. So she says, I don't want this wealth. Give me instead the wealth of knowledge. So Yagnavalkya also realized that this sansar is not going to give me anand, and Maitri also. So she also renounced all that and she also took that life. So the only thing that can remove sorrow is what? Knowledge. Because to remove something you have to be opposed. Like daylight can remove darkness. Because daylight is opposite of darkness. Pleasure can remove pain. And pain can remove pleasure. But if you have sorrow, the only thing that can remove it is knowledge.
So at this stage, Arjun was completely dispassionate about the worldly things that is not.
But it was Smashan Vairagya.
Momentary.
It's a momentary Smashan Vairagya. He has not fully renounced all that. Because he has not renounced his mind, first and foremost. You have to renounce your mind also, no?
This is just his closing remarks.
This is just Abhi. Short. Shanikam.
What is this drying up my senses?
So when you are in the throes of sorrow, when you are feeling totally depressed, you will not feel attracted. Who is attracted to worldly things? Senses. Eyes will be attracted to beautiful things. Tongue will be attracted to wonderful tastes. Ear will be attracted to some audio. When you are really depressed, and anyone who has had an experience with someone who is highly depressed, nothing will interest them.
Yes.
You put on a TV, they don't want to see. Give some chocolate cake, don't want. You give gulab jamun, don't want. Give batata vada, you don't want. Give this, don't want. Want to come to Taj Mahal to eat food, don't want. the senses dry up when you are in the depths of depression. That's what he's feeling right now.
So like Smashan Vairagya.
Smashan Vairagya. Bhagwan Krishna starts his Updesh in the next verse, which we will take up next time.